We could all use a little help navigating the news these days. The Consider This podcast wants to give you a hand. 6 days a week, we'll help you make sense of the day's biggest news story and what it means for you in less than 15 minutes. Listen now to the Consider This podcast from NPR.
This is WCBU's Out and About. I'm Dr. May Gilliland of ArtsPartners of Central Illinois, and today we're talking with Dr. Joseph Henry, Artistic Director and Conductor of the Peoria Area Civic Chorale, about their upcoming An American Family Christmas concerts taking place December 13th through 15th at 5 Points, Washington. Dr. Henry, welcome to Out and About.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about these concerts. Their repertoire includes some of your favorite Christmas music. Could you share how you chose these pieces and why they hold special meaning for you?
Well, that's a good question. So I'd like to select pieces that I really enjoy conducting and teaching. But as you program, you're trying to think of different moods, different styles. Typically, I've programmed a number of what I would call classic carols or traditional carols, but artistically conceived, and there's some really imaginative expressions out there musically, lots of great arrangers. So I like to feature those. We open up the concert with Hark the Herald Angels Sing by Dan Forrest, and Dan is a knack for really wonderful settings. So there's brass, there's percussion, there's four-hand piano, and just a nice spirit. It's a very exuberant piece. And then the second piece, we move into something more serene with a different message. The piece is by Kim Andrea Naesen, Norwegian composer, called I Will Light Candles This Christmas. So he's borrowed a Howard Thurman text that talks about how light always will overwhelm darkness. But he calls for all of us to be like lighted candles, not just during the Christmas season, but 365 days of the year.
So American Family Christmas has been an annual occurrence for 3 decades now. Could you share a bit of the history with us?
So when I came in, I started with the organization as one of the youth chorus directors. It was a high school group, and then the artistic director resigned after 2 years, and I found myself taking the baton. So I've been programming for 30 years, and I've always thought that I would like to program these types of sacred traditional carols, but also holiday favorites that would evoke memories of Christmas past for a lot of people, like I'll Be Home for Christmas or Let It Snow. But the title that I brought with me was called An American Family Christmas. And so I always have an eye towards the children and want to encourage children to attend. And so we always have some surprises. This year we've invited Santa and Mrs. Claus and Rudolph. And then at intermission, we've carved out some time for a number of these children if they want to come up and get a photo shoot with Santa and Mrs. Claus and Rudolph. It's kind of fun.
Well, yeah, youth involvement is a significant aspect of these concerts with performances by the youth chorus, junior high festival chorus, and young artist competition winners. What can we expect to hear from them, and why do you think it's so important to showcase young talent at this event?
We typically will program a junior high festival chorus. And the last count, I think we have about 113 junior high students coming from various schools in central Illinois. They'll work with a conductor that we've hired and sing a couple songs. Of course, our longstanding Peoria Area Civic Chorale youth chorus, they've been with us since 1986. They'll perform each night. We created a young artist competition 20 plus years ago. That takes place every October. We've selected 3 winners, and we'll feature one singer for each concert, which is a wonderful opportunity. So it's been gratifying to me because a number of these students have gone through this young artist program or have sung in the festival choirs. I've actually brought back as special guest performers, and so I just love that.
That was Dr. Joseph Henry talking about the Peoria Area Civic Chorale's upcoming concert, An American Family Christmas. Dr. Henry, thanks so much for joining me in the studio today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You've been listening to Out and About, production of WCBU and ArtsPartners of Central Illinois, designed to connect you with the arts community. Our producer is Jody Holtz. Find this episode at WCBU.org and subscribe to the Out and About podcast wherever you download.
Support for arts and culture coverage on WCBU comes from PNC Financial Services. PNC is committed to supporting local art and culture events in the communities they serve.